Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ruby here with another video for you guys today. I am going to show you guys how I got this rosy toned, kind of soft look that I had in my photo shoot with Daniel Lozada. If you guys are interested in how I got it, just hang out and keep on watching. Alright guys, I'm going to try to zip through this first part, which is the foundation. I already put my primer on and I used the Urban Decay Optical Illusion, and I also mixed it in with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer. What you see me applying on my face right now is the Maybelline Fit Me in the matte and poreless formulation. This formulation is perfect for photo shoots because it's smoothing, it's buildable, and there's no flashback, and it is also very nice coverage. And I'm just grabbing my Real Techniques. I believe this is the buffing brush, and I like to pat it in first. That way you can really concentrate the coverage where you would like, and then I go in buffing motions. So pat, 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 buff, buff, buff. Alright, so this is actually one layer of the Maybelline Fit Me. As you can tell, it's pretty full coverage, nice and comfortable coverage. But for a photo shoot, I always like to make sure it's a little bit more flawless than this. So between each layer, I like to go with a damp beauty blender and blend it all out just to make sure that it doesn't get cakey. So making sure that the neckline is blended, that the foundation's blended nice and seamless into the hairline before I go in with the second layer. That way it doesn't cake up. So I'm really going to concentrate that more on my cheeks because that's where I feel like I need the extra coverage. So as you can tell, I'm just kind of working that in with my fingers to really melt it in together. And then I'm just going to continue this step with working it with my finger, buffing it in with the Real Techniques brush, and then smoothing it over with the Beauty Blender. That's how I make sure that the coverage is flawless. Alright guys, after that second layer of foundation, you can tell it's pretty full coverage, and now I just need to conceal the under eyes. So I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This shade is a little too dark for what I prefer for my under eyes. I like a brighter under eye area. It's not the most flattering on everyone. I don't really care what people say. It's makeup. I make it to what I feel comfortable with and what I like. So I like a brighter under eye area. So for me, the Tarte Shape Tape in the color Light Neutral it's a little bit too dark. So I also go in with the NYX, the NYX Ultra HD Concealer in the color Porcelain, which is what I'm applying. I apply that mainly like directly under the eye area, so it's a little bit of hydration as well as lightness. So I really want that under eye to be bright, whereas the Shape Tape, I drag it down more to my cheeks for extra coverage. Now that product right there is a True Isaac Mizrahi Radiance Boosting Pen. I swear by this stuff. If you can find it online or in any store, I recommend you buy it. It reminds me of the Shape Tape, but in like a brightening peach color. So as you can tell, it is definitely like a brightening peach kind of color. If my camera will focus, yeah, there you can tell. It's a brightening peach color. So I also put that more so on the under eye because I find that the NYX HD Concealer oxidizes, which is really frustrating because I get it in the lightest shade and I feel like it oxidizes. So that's why I'm swiping the True Isaac Mizrahi one kind of in between those two, just for some added brightness and coverage. I really, really, really love this stuff. So I like to load on the concealer because, like I was saying earlier, I love a very bright under eye. And I also take this Radiance Boosting Pen to highlight the rest of the face. There's no shimmer in here. It's completely matte. So I like to put that under the brow bone and to just slightly highlight the forehead. I don't really like to highlight the forehead that much. I feel like you want to highlight the forehead if you want to accentuate your forehead. I have a big forehead, so I'm not really trying to do that. I do it more so just for uniformity and blending. So I'm taking that with the Beauty Blender, making sure that all of those products are blended in harmony under the eye area to provide a nice bright under eye area. And to make sure that there's some hydration added in that as well, because since the Tarte Shape Tape and the Radiance Boosting Pen are matte, it can sometimes need a little bit more hydration. So that's what I'm doing. So now that I have all of my cream products blended, I'm going to start to set. I am going with my trusty and my favorite Wet n Wild Contouring Duo. That yellow shade is literally everything. I may or may not be a little too pale to use under my under eye, but I don't care. I love it. So that is what I'm going to apply to my under eye, and we're going to do some slight baking. Since we are doing a photo shoot, we want to make sure that we have everything set down because we don't want it to move. You know, there's going to be some outfit changes. There's going to be some posing where you're touching your face. So you do want to make sure that you have your face set. So right now I'm going in and I'm baking that under eye just because A, I like a super bright under eye, and B, you don't want it to fuss and move around. So I'm packing that on quite a lot in the triangle area. For photo shoots, you do want to make sure that your features are accentuated. So you want to make sure that if you are going to contour and highlight, that you do it very well and not sloppily like you would perhaps if you were just going around running errands. So that's how you can tell with the baking area, those are more precise than they are just kind of like buffed on there. So after I pack that on, as you can tell, I look funny, weird. But after I set that area and kind of set the top of my nose, I like to buff it into my forehead. I get a lot of smile lines. I do a lot of expression lines on my forehead, so I like to kind of smooth the powder in there more. So I really like using the Wet n Wild Contouring Duo as my under eye highlighter because it's matte, and I feel like I can control the shimmeriness and the reflectiveness, which gets picked up on quite easily on camera. So I like using matte products. So also for the face, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Ready, whatever their basic setting powder is. That is also matte, but it's a natural matte. It's not a complete dry stark matte like the Contouring Duo. So I'm going to use this to set the rest of my face and really pack in the coverage and make sure that it's nice and set and ready to go for your other cheek products. Like the bronzer and the blush and all of that. So making sure that that is nice and smoothed over. That way when I apply those other products, they buff in nicely. So just buffing that in, smoothing it over, and of course taking it down the neck, all of that basic stuff. Slightly buffing it around the forehead softly. As you can tell, I'm very rough with myself when I do my makeup. I move all different kinds of ways and I make really weird faces, so yeah, and I like to dance. But overall, you want to make sure that those cheek areas are wherever you need the most coverage. For me, that is the cheek area, so I'm making sure that I am applying that powder vigorously around the cheek area so that it's nice and smooth and it doesn't, like the bronzer and the blush doesn't break up the coverage. So I'm really just putting that down to set the foundation and protect the foundation. Alright guys, so I already buffed in all the powder on the rest of my face, and I did bronze up the forehead a little bit using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So once I feel like I already bronzed and highlighted my forehead, the rest of my face is set, I feel like the bake is ready to come off. So I'm just taking a damp beauty blender and really packing that coverage in more than I'm swiping it off. So I'm really packing that in, making sure that the powder is set on top of the concealer and really brightening it up. Because that's exactly what I'm doing, and kind of blending it down the cheek as well. And my camera's totally not in focus. Sorry about that. Oh, hello. Here we go. Wow, I can't believe that I got that coverage all from drugstore products. If you guys want to see a full face drugstore makeup routine thingamajiggy, just give this video a thumbs up and leave down below. I'll definitely get that for you guys. I am a drugstore girl through and through. Alright, so now that we have all the full coverage down, all the regular skin tone based products down, we need to add definition and we need to add some color. So I'm grabbing my favorite bronzer here, which is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. However, I'm just grabbing my Real Techniques buffing brush and adding some definition to the face. I'm really taking it around the temple of the forehead and also the tops of my cheeks. I'm not necessarily contouring, but I am bronzing up and adding warmth to the face. I'm a bronzer freak, so do I go a little heavy-handed with it? Yeah, sometimes. But I can't help it. This bronzer is absolutely beautiful. It provides the perfect amount of warmth without looking way too orange. It is a nice, I would say neutral brown with just a touch of warmth, and it's perfect for many skin types and tones. It has enough sheen to look radiant, but at the same time it's not full of glitter. So it's honestly perfect for photo shoots and day-to-day, especially if you're going to be outdoors, because we all know that real light and having makeup outside is so much different than having makeup inside. However, like I said, that bronzer doesn't have glitter, so here is where we add the bling, ladies and gentlemen. The Wet n Wild highlighter in the color Precious Petals is literally life. So I'm applying that with a Real Techniques contouring brush. I'm just applying a little bit of the Pixie Makeup Fixing Spray on the brush and then really patting that on to my face. Since I'm not doing a lot of shimmery bronzer, I want to really make my features stand out with the highlighter. Sorry, I was just fixing the camera there. But as you can tell, I love highlighting. I feel like it really helps to, it helps to really define your facial features. So I'm really working that at the tops of my cheekbones and almost where the blush is. I like to put some highlighter under my blush because I normally go in with matte blushes. So I feel like when you put the highlighter under the blush, it really helps to create a lit from within glow. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just taking the Beauty Blender with no additional product, and I'm just making sure that the under eye area is staying bright after the bronzer and the highlighter. The reason why I'm blending this in after the highlighter is to make sure that it's seamless and blended in and not too stark, I guess, necessarily. So I'm just making sure that the under eye is still bright, and I'm blending it into the highlighter because blending is the key to making sure that everything is seamless and smooth. So that's why I keep that on hand in between bronzing and blushing. Now, if you feel that you went over the highlighter too much, you can take your highlighting brush again with no additional product and just dust that over the highlighted areas, which is what I'm doing now. I went for a really glowy look, so I want to repeat these steps. Now with the brush, I didn't spray it again with more fixing spray, but I am just running off the tops of my cheekbones just to add another little layer, but I didn't go back in with product. It's almost like I buffed it out to give that soft glow, and then I just dusted softly. I also took the highlighter over the bridge of my nose and on the eyelids just so that it can create a nice ethereal look when I put the eyeshadows on. So now I'm just making sure that the bronzer is all blended in, and I'm prepping my area, my cheek area, for the blush. So like I said, I went for a rosy tone blush for this look. I'm using my favorite blush brush from Me Cosmetics. It's a perfect size for the blush area. And I'm using the Golden Gate matte blush from Bare Minerals. It's a really nice warm tone, rosy cheek color. I really wanted to go for this color because I knew I was going to be shooting around a bunch of plants, around a lush greenery, and I usually go for a nice bronzy look, but for this one I wanted to keep it nice and pink and soft. So those were the two shades that I used for my blush. I think one is called like Inner Beauty or something, but they're both rose tone. So I'm just really working that in. I mean, you can tell how pretty it looks on top of the highlighter. It really does give a lit from within glow. It tones down the highlighter, but it's still letting it peek through. So I think that was really pretty. It came off really beautiful in photos, and it looked really nice in person as well. So I'm just really blending and working that in. at any time you feel like you went too hard with your blush and bronzer, all you have to do is take that beauty blender with no additional product and just go under your cheekbones to redefine the area and make it nice and clean. Since I went for more of a soft look for this shoot, I didn't go in with a strong contour, but I did go in with a light matte bronzer, and I contoured slightly. I didn't do anything too strict, I didn't do anything too bold, but I did want it to be defined softly. So I went in with an angled brush. That is the brush from Wet n Wild, just 99 cents, and you guys should all get it. It's literally wonderful. So once I have all of my face products down, that is where I like to go in with the more defining things, such as my lipstick and my brows. Since I added a lot of color to my face, I wanted to put my lipstick on to see if any of my other features need to be toned down. Like if I needed to tone down the blush, if I needed to tone down the bronzer. Right now I'm using the Balm Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the color Meat Matte Trimony. It's one of my favorites. Just so you know, it's picking up a very like salmon pink color. It is more of a rosy pink color, but I feel like everything is coming off a little bit warmer. The reason why I like to put my lipstick on kind of after I get my face product is to do exactly what I was saying. Make sure that with my lip color that my blush isn't too much, my bronzer isn't too much, or anything like that. Thankfully it all worked out, so I'm leaving my lipstick on and I'm going to move on to the brows. I'm using my brow gel. I can't remember this brand's name. I believe it's worn off, but it's just in a nice taupey color. But the comb is actually like a nice cone shape, so I really like combs like that. Once I have the brow gel on and I like to let them sit for a second, I go in and highlight the under eye area. I don't like to highlight after I get my brow product on because I don't want any shimmer on my brow area. So I'm just taking one of my favorite highlighters, which is a Wet n Wild, I believe the Sweetest Fling highlighter. So yeah, anyways, I'm just highlighting the under brow area because I don't want any highlighter or shimmer after I already put my pomade. So while the brow gel sits, I highlight. And I highlight the inner corner, sometimes a little bit of the nose area, all that kind of stuff. Look at that glow. Yes, girl. Okay, so now I'm going to grab a fluffy eyeshadow blending brush and I'm going to start to put some definition on the eye area. I'm grabbing the same bronzer that I used on my face just to keep some uniformity and to keep that soft look. I believe I started off with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and then I grabbed the Faux Matte, or was it, no, Faux Tan bronzer that is in this Bare Minerals palette that I'm using. I'm using that to define the eye area. Yep, that's the color I was using. So it's like a warm bronzer shade. It's what I have on my cheeks. So I'm using that to define the eye area. The reason why I went in something that has a little bit more sheen instead of a matte is because I did want to keep the uniformity that I have on my face and also to keep on with that soft look. I feel like if I were to do a very matte shadow, it would just not be continuous with the look that I'm trying to achieve. So yeah, if you ever feel like you want to look soft and natural and just more put together and polished, I recommend going with the cheek colors on your eyes. This is a very simple look that still provides definition. So yeah, I just went in with the blush colors. They're actually really pretty eyeshadows, and it was really pretty on my brown eyes. I feel like it really warmed up the complexion. So right now we're pretty much done. Once I blended in those eyeshadows and touched up the highlighting areas, I just go in and do my brows. I did that off camera just because it was kind of hard to do it in the position that I was in. And I added on some mascara on the bottom lashes, and that was pretty much it. No eyeliner, nothing crazy like that. Just a little spritz of the setting spray and you're all done. Alright guys, so for my hair, I had it up just natural looking. I knew I was going to be in some lushness, so I kind of wanted to get that like breezy, effortless, natural wave. But yeah, this is the completed makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed my rosy, soft, lit from within, glowy kind of look. If you guys want to see how the makeup turned out in the photo shoots, check my Instagram out at Martinez. There you'll see a bunch of different photos from the photo shoot that I wore this makeup look to. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Click the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!